Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Getting to the Bottom Line. I'm your host, Stephanie Smith, an outsourced CFO who helps high earning entrepreneurs keep more of their hard earned money. This is our cash flow confession segment where business owners like you share the money moments that have impacted their business. Short, real, and practical so you can run smarter, not just harder, and of course, keep more of what you make. I'm excited to have on the show with me today Ian Noble. Thanks so much for joining me, Ian.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I'm looking forward to our conversation, but before we dive into the meat of it, tell everyone a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what clients you serve.
I'll condense this for everybody listening. My past life, I had a dry cleaning business in Austin, Texas, family business, bought into it, or bought out my dad and ran that for about 13 years. So sold a few years ago and put my money to work in real estate. So now I have a real estate company that helps business owners basically invest passively into private real estate deals so that they can build wealth outside of their business. But it's all passive because they don't have any extra time on their plate. So that's how I help people today.
I love that. I think given the way the economy is today, it's important to diversify, right? And multiple streams of income. And I love that you're helping people do that in a different kind of way.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride. I wish somebody would have come to me 10 years ago and said, "Hey, let me help you build some money outside your business." But that's what I do today. I'm trying to catch up for lost time and help others.
One of those like, when's the best time to plant a fruit tree? It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because people, you never know, they're one step away from something, especially if they're an owner operator and something, family divorce or disease, these things come up in life. And so I think that it's important for all people to really, start building these streams outside of their main source of income.
No, that makes perfect sense. And that's great that you're helping people do that. Um, so let's dive in. I want to know what's a financial challenge that you're currently working through or you have worked through in the past, and what did you learn from it?
I want to speak to a past issue that I had. When I got involved in the business, the management wasn't present at the time. This was my dad. So he got burnt out, like a lot of entrepreneurs do. And as a result, when his interest and time and energy wasn't into the business, it started to suffer. And I had seen that him trying to step away, the business started to hemorrhage cash. And he was then having to pay payroll out of pocket from other sources of income, such as real estate. I got into the business seeing that and realized I don't ever want that to happen to me. So the financial challenge was seeing and learning from what others had done and then figuring out a way what can I do in my day-to-day business life to automate that to where I don't ever run into that situation.
That is rough, right? Especially paying payroll and expenses out of you don't have enough cash in the business. That's definitely a bad position to be in. So,
Yeah.
what helped you the most in navigating that whole situation?
So I think the best tool that people can take advantage of today is to automate their life. So we're seeing this in business practices. What I did for the dry clean company specifically was we were open 6 days a week. And there was a certain percentage that I'd want for my profit that it was important to me to make sure that we always kept and never dip beneath that. So instead of letting all the money sit in the checking account, what I did was each day I would take the sales and I would take a percentage of those sales. You can make up whatever numbers applicable to your business. So for that one, let's say it was 15% of sales or 10% of sales. You put that money aside if you can, and then have that on autopilot to where it goes into a separate account that's on reserve. So your primary checking account is going to be your day-to-day deposits from your company itself, but then that reserve is there so that you never run into a situation to where you're in trouble. You can't pay a bill. You can't pay back, any accounts payables or your staff. I found that automating it just has there's a protective measure that helps you if anything's to go south. And later it did for us. And so that practice actually helped me quite a bit in surviving through the business.
It sounds a lot like profit first. Is that where you got
Profit
it
first.
from?
No, not from, so same principles, yes, but no, it was just I didn't ever want that to happen to me. I see too many business owners that were struggling or they weren't paying themselves, and I thought, okay, if you put this aside first, the profit first, mentality, then hopefully you never run into that. And literally, I see business owners all the time, still today. Like if I'm underwriting a new business deal, or I'll look at people's financials and the owner is just not paying themselves. And I thought, I don't believe a company can be successful if the person in charge isn't motivated. And I think the profit first mentality is the only way to go.
I agree 100%. And we love Profit First over here. My husband is a huge Mike McAllowitz fan. We do Profit First for our own business. And I think there is kind of a shift when you're thinking about your finances to putting that money aside, knowing that you can't use it, right? Like I'm going to put it aside and then I need to just make the rest of my money work the way I need it to. So I love that you did that without even really being into the Profit First thing. You were just thinking ahead.
The way that so what I think you're trying to get at is, yeah, like not just there's a strategic plan that's set up to where you don't want to let yourself fail. And I think that, so if you're the head of your organization and you're not paying yourself first, setting that money aside, then if you can't succeed, neither can any of your company underneath you. And so, because at the end of the day, you need to be able to run your own life, and that's why a lot of people are in business. And so I think that success should start at the top. It should trickle down and you can share the wealth. But if the owner or the top of the chain doesn't win, the whole company doesn't win. That's why people shut their doors. And the livelihoods that you've been helping and protecting your staff, your employees, nothing is good anymore if you can't take care of yourself. So same in
Love that.
business and in personal life. You got to be able to take care of yourself first in order to take care of others.
I agree 100%. What a good perspective. And we all go into business to support ourselves. And if you're not paying yourself, then what's the point? Unless you're just really passionate about what you're doing and you know, maybe you have a lot of money sitting somewhere else. But so what's a piece of advice you'd give to someone else who's in a similar situation to what you were facing?
When times are good, this can be an easy task to set aside, but I would strongly suggest that you don't. This same planning method that I would do saved me when COVID hit. The dry cleaning industry, lots of businesses took a major hit. For us specifically, people weren't going to work. And so those were the clothes that we would clean. And we lost 80 to 85% of revenue right away. But at that time, I had 95 employees, I had 15 leases. We had a lot of moving component. Payroll was coming up. You know, that would average maybe 100 to 85 to $100,000 depending on the week. So those reserves saved my tail because we didn't have any income coming in, but the party doesn't stop. And yes, a lot of people got PPP money, but I saw competitors locally that closed their doors because there were no reserves and they were running thin to begin with. Had they prioritized this automated daily savings, they maybe could have survived. And the benefit to this, not only was it a survival measure, it also helped the business thrive. So naturally, when our competitors shut down because they couldn't withstand it anymore, we acquired their customers. Their customers had to go somewhere. So, you know, the pie got a little bit larger for each of those that remained in the game, and you naturally had a boost in business. So, post COVID, company was doing better than ever before, higher profit margins. And I think all of it was the foundation of having that set up to automate savings so that if something goes wrong, you're prepared.
I love that. And just so what I'm hearing you say, right, is to think ahead in the future, set aside money just in case. And if there isn't a just in case, you can always reinvest in another way. Either way, it's something that you can use to help support you and your business if you ever do need that money.
Yeah, you're right
So
on.
what a great story. I love that. So I want to know before we wrap up, what's something really exciting that you're working on right now?
I mentioned in the beginning that what I do is, you know, I'm a lifelong entrepreneur and I work with small business owners to help them build wealth or passive income streams outside of their business. So a lot of this, what I found as a business owner was, number one, I thought a lot of it was crap. You know, you see stuff on the internet today and it's hard to decipher like what's true and is this a gimmick? What I liked about real estate is a lot of it's run like a P&L, and that's how our minds operate as an entrepreneur. So what I do is, from a risk tolerance, I will help people. I'll find low risk deals And I'm getting people to have new sources of income to where they don't have any extra time on their plate, but now they can participate in the benefits of real estate, the tax, the tax benefits, the depreciation that they can get, all of in the upside. So there's all these different components to where like one deal won't change your life, but if you get the mindset of setting things up outside of your main thing, then you're in a better position to be able to walk away. When I first was going to, thinking about exiting my business, the goal was if I could build up my real estate portfolio along the way to where it equaled my income from the business, I'd be in a good position to step away worry free. Now, I never quite got there because the business was doing well, but my rentals and real estate along the way helped. But then I realized it takes a long time to build one thing at a time. So now we work with large groups. I find good operators and we co-invest as a group so that everyone gets a better deal. It's been vetted, more than just the person selling their deal. It's been vetted under like strict due diligence, background checks. My own money's in it. So it's a much different approach than somebody advising you park money here or do this. These are things that we believe in. I can go tell my wife, hey, this is a good deal that I'm in. And it's been a lot of fun helping. We helped on our last deal people that were not real estate owners, restaurant owner, a veterinarian, cardiovascular surgeon. I had a tech executive in there and like software manager. So people that had the money, didn't have the time or didn't have the skills because real estate is a full-time job. So it's passive for us because we're doing the legwork, but somebody's running that deal. And it's really fun when they start to see like, oh, this is how people build wealth. Because a lot of times, again, you're one step away from something happening with your business. You got to build outside.
Love that. That sounds so fun. And I keep thinking to myself, that's so different than running a dry cleaning business.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you one thing, no one's calling me on the way to work telling me they have a flat tire or they're not coming in. You wouldn't believe the number. We used to do something where when they would call it, in each of the stores there was only one person that would open that store and then more staff would come in throughout the day. So we'd always say, like, I get a call at 6 in the morning saying, I can't make it to work, my tire's flat. And we'd be like, where are you? I'm coming to pick you up. Like you're going to work. We need someone in that store, and you'd be amazed. All of a sudden, their tire's no longer flat. They think they can make it. So I don't miss that aspect of it from what I do now.
Oh yeah, such a big difference. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to connect with you and learn more about what you're doing now and the real estate, how can they find you?
For the listeners of your show, I put together what I call a passive investing cheat sheet. It's the questions that you need to ask when you're interested in this sort of thing or investment, whether it's with me or with anybody else. It's just really good, effective way to learn. So we'll include that in the show notes. That's the best way to learn about me and my business. The website is runsteadyinvestments.com. But again, the link's going to give you that free cheat sheet to learn exactly how it's done behind the scenes.
Awesome. And I will definitely make sure that I include that in the show notes so people can come learn more about what you're doing and maybe connect with you and grow something different outside of their business.
Yeah, that's awesome. This was fun. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, this was such a great conversation. So wrapping it up, that's all that we have for this episode today. I want to say thank you for listening to Cashflow Confessions on Getting to the Bottom Line. I hope today's story gave you a fresh perspective on how money really works in business. If you want more simple strategies to help you keep more of what you make sure to sign up for our newsletter where we share exclusive resources you won't get anywhere else. You can sign up at our website at newlightfs.com/newsletter. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with another business owner who could use a little clarity and encouragement because together we can help more entrepreneurs find freedom through their finances. Until next time, keep pushing forward and keep your cash flow working for you. Bye, everyone.